Hello and welcome to Minecraft and Computers episode I20 BCD 7-segment display design part 2. Last time we used the truth table to come up with the gates that we would need. Today we're actually going to design the circuit inside of Minecraft that we will build, but we start out by using what we have in Logisim to actually do the design. So as you recall, last time we came up with a chart that contained our truth table that looked like this. So what we want to do now is we want to take all of those various gate combinations that we found for the segment and create our 7-segment display. So the first thing we're going to need is a 7-segment display, which is right here. Let me drag this out and put it here. And then as you recall, this is actually the egg segment, so the way this works is all we do is provide a signal for whatever segment we want and connect it up here, and then when I go to simulate mode and turn this on and off, we'll turn that segment. So there's our A segment. That's the first one that we want to do. If we go back to our truth table, which you see here, down here at the bottom, you can see what we came up with that is that we need A or B and D, or not B and not D, or C. So to activate the A and to get the right ones in that case, that is exactly what we want to do. And so over here we have our bits. We've set up A, B, C, D that correspond to the ABC here, down here at the bottom. And then also we have our segments, these various segments we have around here, the A, B, C, D, E, F, and G segments of the 7-segment are also over here, and you can see them in our table. Now, one at a time, starting with, for instance, segment A, we're going to start doing these connections. So I'm going to delete this, and we will start with segment A. Now you can see the first thing the segment A says is we need a couple of gates that are B, D, and we also need a not BD gate. So those are an AND situation, so I'm going to grab the AND gate here, and I'm going to go with the narrow gates, and we need to do 2 inputs in this gate. And bring it right here. So to do the BD gate, we come over here and we connect it to the B and D. So those are the on positions. Keep in mind this is when it's on and this is the inverted, so this is when it's off. This is BD, and so we're going to pull it forward and set it there, and I'm going to label this BD. Okay, there's our first gate. That's the BD. Now we also want the opposite of that, which is the not B, not D. So as a shortcut, I'm just going to copy that gate and put it here. And we will relabel that. I'm going to use an exclamation point for not instead of the tilde because it fits better for what we're doing. So here's the not B and the not D right here. Now, the last two that we have are the A being on, so I'm going to pull that forward to here, and then you also see that we have if the C gate is on, which is this one right here. So these are all the conditions that we need for the segment A. So in that case we just need an OR gate. We need, in this case, as you can see, 4 inputs because we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to drop it about in this location right here and label this A, little a for segment A. And then of course connect it into our 7-segment to segment A. Now all we do is bring these over into these inputs like this. And we're good. Now I'm going to move this particular connection all the way back here. Actually, delete that. I don't want it coming that way. I can actually grab this one, I think, and bring it down. You'll see why in just a second. We'll get rid of this and then reconnect. So drag that down. That stays the same. And then we're going to delete these. Back to the A. So the A, we just come all the way back to here, and then I'm going to bring the BD down right here and over to there. Now the reason why is we want to start lining these connections up in case we need to bring them further down to make them connect. And so this is going to be as close as I can get it to there. And that's it. So now we've got our A segment connected. We go back to our truth table and we go through our cases. As you can see, for the conditions of 0, we want it on, which it is. 1, it should be off. 2, it should be on. 3, it should be on, and so forth. So we can verify all of that by just stepping through all of these. But I don't want to do that right now. We're just going to check them all at the end. So we've got our A gate hooked up, and we move now to segment B. So the first thing I'm going to need for segment B is, if you count the gates, you see that it's 3. It's not B, not C, and not D, or C and D. That's the gates we have here, so there's 3. So I'm going to go ahead and take, starting with an OR gate, and I'm going to put it right here. And this will be the B segment, so I will label it as a small lowercase b, and it is a 3 input gate, like so. Now for this, we need a couple of new gates. We don't have a CD or a not C, not D, so we're going to do the same thing. Just for simplicity, copy one of these and move it down here. Okay, this will be our not C, not D gate. And of course that means then we need to hook it up exactly like this. There's not C and not D. So that gate is actually going to give us an input signal, and that connects to this one. I'm going to bring that down this line right here. You see that's the next available one, and drag it over to here. So there's our B, and this of course connects up to the B segment, which is this one right here. And then the last one we need for this is, let me grab one more of these. And this is going to be our C and D. I'm going to leave space in there. So this will be labeled as CD. And we could hook it up to the opposite. So this goes to the C. And this goes to the D. And then we bring it in to this connection. Moving over to the next available line. Vertical here. So that one, this one, and this one. And then of course the last thing that we need for this is a not B. Well, we don't need a gate for that because we have not B right here. So we just need to drag this through here. And up to here. So that is our not B, that is our B gate, and now we move on to the C gate. Okay, moving on to the C gate. The C gate, as you can see, has 4 different inputs, so I'm going to copy this. It's got most of what we need. I'm going to put it down here. Relabel it as the C segment. Hook it up to the C, which is this one right here. Keep in mind that is the point, and we're not using the point. So now the conditions that we have for the C gate are B, A, not C, and C, D. Those are what we need for C gate. So some of those are easy. We're going to start actually with the CD because we have the CD right here. So I'm just going to connect it into there like that. Now the others we need are A. So I just need to drag this over to the A. B. Drag this to the B. And then the last one we have is not C. And so we come to the not C right here. And that is very easy. It's one of our easiest gates to do. Okay, we come to the D gate. The D gate has 5 inputs, as you can see right down here. So I'm going to copy this one. It has most of what we need. Make that the D segment. So this is the D OR gate right here. They will OR all the conditions necessary for the D. Now the conditions you can see for the D gate are A, or not B, not D, or C, not D, or not B, C, or B, not C, D. So we're going to take those as they come. I think the easiest, we already have the not B, not D down here. So I'm going to bring this up to the next available vertical connection, which is right here. So that's the not B, not D. We've got that one taken care of very easily. I can get the A very easily also by connecting to there. And then we need a C, not D, which as you can see, we don't have that gate yet. We also have a not B, C, which we also don't have. And this last gate is a 3 condition, which is B, not C, D. So let's just take them in the order they come on our sheet here, and we start with a C, not D. I'm going to copy this, line it up down here, and as we said, we need to relabel this as C, not D, and connect it just like that, so it goes to the C on and the D off, and that provides us with a gate there. And then the next one we need is not B, C. So this we relabel not B, C, and hook this up to the B off and the C on, and find the next available that we can do to there. Now this last gate that is B, not C, D, we already are going to need the B, not C for another gate, so I'm going to add it like this, and that is then going to be labeled as B, not C, and hook it up so we go to the B positive and the not C here. And then for this gate we actually have to add in not D. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move all of this down. Now actually I like it where it is because I see what I can do. I'm going to fit my other gate right here and line up one of the pegs along this line, and this will be my not D right here. And the top peg looks good, so not D goes into this gate, and then the B not C goes into that gate, and then this one will leave here and be our last gate in D. So there's the D segment, and of course the D segment is right here, and we're set for that. So that is the D segment. So that leaves us only with the last 3. The E segment is quite easy. It is only 2 gates. So I'm going to grab this and drop it here, change the number of gates to 2, and label it for the E segment. And keep in mind this is now the E, okay, and the E, if you'll look, we will connect this real quickly, is right there. So we bring this into here. I should have relabeled this to make sure that we have this. This is B, not C, D. And as you can see, since I do have it D, I've got it hooked up to the negative D. I just noticed that it actually goes to that D. We would have had a bug in our logic. Okay, so E is not BD, which we have right here. Not B, D goes all the way back up to that gate. And it is C, not D, which you can see we have C, not D right here. So we're going to go to the next one over, and there is C, not D, connected to it right there. So that's really all we have to do for our E gate. All of our work was already done. Now, moving on to segment F. Segment F is a 4 input gate. Let me drag this to here, and then we're going to relabel it as segment F. This will be our F gate for ordering all the conditions for segment F. Segment F is not C, not D, which we have right here. So we'll take care of that one first. There we go. It is also B, not D, with, if you'll look, do we have a B, not D? And the answer is we do not have a B, not D. So we need to make one. Just drag it right down to here. I've lined this up to make it nice and easy to connect. And this will be B, not D. B on is this wire here, and not D is this wire right here, and we're connected up to F. Now the F segment is up here. If you want to see that quickly, you can just connect it into here. That's the G, and the F is there. So this is what we're doing. This one needs to come up and over to this position to be the F gate. The other conditions that we have for the F gate are B not C, which you can see right here we have B not C. So I can just connect it up to there. And the last one we have is A. And that's the F. That gives us our last gate. It's also a 4. I'll bring it down to here. These conditions are going to be exactly what we need. You see it has A, not B, C, or B, not C, or C, not D. So a lot of these gates we're going to have already. I'm just going to drag this over to the A to make it easy, and then we're going to look, do we have a not B, C? And you can see it's right here. So I can come off this and connect to there. That is the not B, C, and then we have B, not C. You see that right here. Just connect that one into that gate, and then we have C, not D, which you can see is right here. So we don't have to add any gates for this, and we bring it up to here and connect it in. And then it of course goes to this location here, which I think I'll rearrange just a bit here. Make this a little bit cleaner to make it fall through better. I like having a little bit of a height. I'll move this up to there, and that gives us room to bring this down like this. We need to label this as the G segment because that is the G gate. And then at this point, we have to see what we have. I can already see that I have an error because this is 0 here. This should be 0 here, so we find out where we have an error. And it's right here. I've connected this to the wrong place. Disconnect it and put it in the right place. And there's our 0. So that's all we do is to debug these to make sure. Now we're going to put a 1 on. 1 is correct. 2 is correct. 3 is correct. 4 is correct. 5 is correct. 6 is correct. 7 is correct. I only have 2 more to check. That is 8. 8 is correct. And 9 is correct. So let's go through those again real quickly. There's the 0, the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, 6, 7, 8, and finally 9. So we've got our circuit done. Everything is good. If you really want to clean this up, you can just drag these wires here and take them to the last place they were used. I guess for any of this excess segments, you can delete these instead of dragging. For instance, I can just click here and delete. And you can see in our circuit, we ended up never even needing the not A. So what I'm going to do for it is just make it short and leave it right here. This is part of our circuit at the top. So there it is. There's our 7-segment display driver. Now one other thing you notice, if we put something on there that does not exist, like this is a 9, but here's a 10. Who knows what it's going to do if you do any of these. It'll just come up with something because we didn't actually do those. So it's only going to do 0 through 9, which is all we need for BCD. That is the end of I20. Next time we are going to actually build this circuit that you see right here. We designed in Logisim. We are going to build it in Mindcraft over a couple of different sessions so you can see exactly how this works. We'll be doing 2 of these to show 2 different 4-bit buses for a total of 1 8-bit bus. We will see you then, end of I20. BCD 7-segment design. This is Imroy, out.